G'day, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the CoolDadCollective podcast. The podcast that's for dads by a dad, talking everything there is to talk about fatherhood. And I'm very, very stoked today. We did a podcast not long ago for the Roads Walk podcast, which we got a bit of virality on, brother.
There was a bit of traction around it, that's for sure.
Little bit of traction, little bit of feathers rustled. I did mention when we spoke about the teaching thing that it would definitely ruffle some feathers. But it's good to have you here, Ty Avery. I'm very stoked to be able to sit down with you. I've tried to sort of get this in the book for a while now, and I've actually finally had some free time now that I don't have to work at school, which is fantastic. So got you in the studio to now. You've spoken all about my life, and now we can actually dive into some fatherhood chat about your journey as a father and your journey so far as raising two little kids.
Two little kids, boy 5 and girl 3.
Dang, yeah, we got. That's right. I think we got very close to the same age difference between the kids.
Yep.
And sorry to jump straight in, man.
No,
but
go for it.
But your son's starting prep next year. Yeah. So because one of the things that I've sort of been dealing with a little bit, and I don't know how it is like with a boy, but definitely with my daughter. Mate, she's losing her shit at the moment. I think there's a lot going on in terms of realizing and understanding that there's a lot of changes that are coming up.
What's the attitude like?
A little bit like her mum, so brutal.
Yeah,
no,
agreed.
but the attitude is hectic, man. I think it's just like the drop of the hat tantrums. Are starting to get to me a little bit in terms of like 1 second she'll be fine and then she'll remember something about like, oh, I'm going to school next year or something. She'll remember that it's like her last week of kindy this week, and all of a sudden just like that, she'll just be like fucking meltdown mode. Have you been going through the same thing, or are boys just a little bit like, who the fuck cares?
No, it's pretty much the same, mate. Like last week we had Declan's prep, like meet the teacher day.
Yeah.
So I finished work early, jetted off to his school, and yeah, we met the teacher, but it was like the parents got to meet the teacher for like 2 minutes, and then they ushered the parents out. So the whole class was together. They had like a little lesson, I guess you could say, and all the parents were just waiting out there. But in the lead up to it, like a couple of days before, we were saying to Declan, you excited for big school? You meeting your teacher? Yeah, all good. And then the day of, he just had a meltdown. Yeah, and just like tempers, gone AWOL and all that sort of stuff. And then just like as soon as we started walking in, we asked him, you excited? He's like, oh yeah. And then as soon as he got in the classroom, he was like, all right, you can go now.
That's mad. Yeah.
So like I think it's just one of those things where like, even as an adult, you go through stuff where you try and amp yourself up, you try and get excited for it, but it's like, and then once you finally start doing it, then it's all good.
Yeah, it's crazy how you can see those. And I think it's really funny that I guess we put like, I don't know, like I try not to, but at times I guess because for them, like nothing out of the ordinary is really going to happen. Like they're going to integrate pretty well in a new class. They're going to make new friends because you've been there before. And so you have like a little bit of an attitude of like, oh, come on, man, like you'll be fine. It's going to be all good.
Yep.
But sometimes I feel like we forget that it's their like first time doing all this shit, like doing all
100%.
and I think recently I've sort of come into like the whole thinking about, okay, what was I like on my first day? And then trying to like remember like that time. And it's like impossible. Like my brain, I don't think I remember anything from like pre-high school. Like I feel like my life like started at high school, even though like primary school was there and stuff. I find it really hard to remember all that sort of stuff. And, so thinking back to it, like I'm trying to put myself in a headspace where I'm like, not that like hard ass dad being like, you'll be fine, you'll be all good, it's all good. What have you found that's, have you been sort of having discussions after that day and realizing like, okay, it's mainly just getting to the thing. Have you sort of had discussions about like, do you remember like, it's going to be good, it's going to be all sweet when you get there, remember that time that we put you in and it's all good? Have you sort of had chats like that around it?
Yeah, like even with him, after the day sort of happened, and then I think it was like a couple of days after, we say to Declan, you excited for big school? He's like, yeah, I'm excited. And he made a couple of friends like in that group.
That's
because
awesome, yeah.
The biggest thing for us was because Taylor works in early childcare.
Yep.
So it basically works at the daycare that the kids are at.
Yep.
And so we were sort of planning on trying to get him into the school that's closest to the daycare because like the whole after school thing.
Yeah.
And it's just close and stuff. So, he's got a whole bunch of a group of friends there that he wanted to go to school with, but due to the whole catchment thing, obviously he's not going to be in there. So he's going to this new school, and I think we figured out there's one kid that's like from his daycare class that's actually going. So he'll have some sort of friend like
Just someone familiar, right?
yeah, someone familiar. So, but like even going to that, and then having that little lesson there, and I think he made like 2 or 3 friends.
Yeah.
So, and he still remembers their names and stuff. So, like, we keep talking to him, like, just reminding him, like, you got big school next year. You're gonna be meet new friends. You're gonna learn new things. Like every time he comes home from school, and it's the same with my daughter. Like, always asks me, "What'd you learn at school today?" So, I'm hoping that when it comes to that time, it's not just gonna be because I sort of experienced it too. Like, no one wants to play with me, or no one wants to hang out with me. Like I'm hoping with with him that it's just going to be I made new friends today, or I got to play with my friends, or I learned new things. So I'm hoping it's like the positive side of things, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I get you, man. And it's like, I guess it is also like the fear of the unknown as well as a parent. Like this is our first time sort of going through this from like a parenting standpoint. I know for me, it's been like, I don't know, a little bit like, I guess like bittersweet in the fact that like it's in those transition moments where like, they're going from kindy to school. They're like those big transition moments where you realize you're sort of getting older as a parent as well. Like you're sort of like saying goodbye to them as toddlers and being like, okay, this time next year after one full year of school, they're going to be not different, but they're going to be like a little bit older, a little bit more mature. Like I see a lot of people posting like first day of prep, last day of prep, and then the kids grow so much in that year too. So I think for me as a parent too, and I'd like to sort of see what you think about this, there's almost that, I guess, feeling of like your kids are growing up, and it's somewhat scary to be like, that went so fast.
Yeah, like it's like, Declan turns 5 in January. My daughter Kelsey has just turned 3 a couple of weeks ago. And, I was saying to Taylor, we're laying in bed, and was like, where the fuck has the time gone?
Literally, man.
Sorry, can I swear on this?
Yeah, of course you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, where has the time gone? Because, and when you get like Facebook memories?
Yeah,
and
dude.
like
or the iPhone ones?
Yeah, all that. And then
dude.
like, having their birthday, and you see like their baby photos, and like, fuck.
Yeah, man.
Where has the time gone?
Has it sparked like whether you want another one or not?
Look, I was a very big thing for carrying on my last name, because I'm the only one left in my family to carry on my last name. So I was happy that we had a boy first. Like I said to Taylor, like before we had kids, I said, look, if we can have 2 boys and a girl, I'd be happy. But having a boy and a girl now, like we're pretty content.
Yeah.
If in the future, like, and then it comes down to, whether it's feasible, finances, all that sort of stuff. I mean, sometimes if it happens, it happens, but like we would love a third, but right now we're content with 2.
Yeah.
And it's just more of a, let's just see what happens.
I feel like a lot of people do the first 2 in like quick succession, and then there's like a little bit of a time, like a space, and then they go, oh, like, we could probably have another one. And more often than not, I find like the third child is always like, 4, there's like a 4-year age gap.
Yeah.
And I kind of get that, right? Like for me personally, I'm 2 and done. Like I'm 100% Kira and I are on the same page. It's only 2. And like I came from like a family of just me and my brother. And then, Kia came from her family. It was her and her 2 brothers. So she had 3. So she was like, and similar situation there. Her and she is quite far away from her middle brother, but then it's kind of reverse. Like her little brother's close to her middle brother.
Yeah.
And I think we're kind of thinking the same thing around like whether it's feasible and stuff like that. But it's also like, you get to the point where like for us now, I guess we're almost out of the trenches.
Yep.
You get what I mean? Like I was noticing it when I went to the shops the other day. Like I can go to the shops and it's not a lot of effort to like, you don't need to pack like 40 different things to go to the shops, or, they can eat just random foods that you buy, so you can go to the shops and be like, oh, we're just going to get sushi today or something like that. And I think there's that like fear of like, okay, this is really comfortable now. Like, would I want to get back into that like new dad phase? You know what I mean?
And then you go through that and it's like, you know what? A new baby sounds great. But then when you think of the reality, it was like formula, dummies, nappies, fucking, like the pouches or anything like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You think about the reality of things, and it's like, that part where having a new kid sounds good, but then there's a lot of baggage that comes with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is baggage the right word?
No, I
But,
think it's.
do
I know what you
what
mean. Yeah, yeah. It's not like a negative thing. It's just like when you say baggage, it's just like you have so much more to think about.
Yeah.
And then like I feel like when your kids get to that sort of like even just past 3, they're sort of like their own thing in that regard. Like, you know, I think I spoke to like a friend of mine who's just about to have a kid, and he's like, you know, what do you remember most about like the newborn phase? And like when I was in the newborn phase with Skylar, my first one, everything's all new. So you're like, no, even if it's like something really small, you're like, oh, that's new. I can deal with that.
Yep.
But now that I'm thinking about it with the idea that I've got older kids, you're like, holy shit, it was pretty boring. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, 100%.
you know, like in the moment, it definitely wasn't boring. But now that you got 2 kids that can run around and Skylar's like doing flips in the pool and shit, and you're like, you know, sitting around with a little baby on a mat, that's not super fun. You know what I mean? Even though I'm like, I get it, it's huge. But as someone who's been through it before, you're like, oh, the thought of doing that again and just sort of sitting there being like, hey, and getting them, you're like, oh, do I really want to do that again when I've got like, you can like wrestle your kids now? You know what I mean?
Because now they're sort of at an age where like they can take care of themselves to a point.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then you have another baby and it's like, oh, well, another responsibility.
Yep. Now we're back to it. How are we going to feed this one? Is this one going to be colic? Is this one going to sleep? Blah, blah, blah. All that sort of stuff.
But then it's also too like another car seat, you know, whether you have a big enough car, another bedroom.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, your kids get old enough, like my 2 are at the age now where they need to be separated. They can't be in the same room because, you know, one starts playing with this toy. No, this one's got to have this toy as well, sort of thing. And
do you find that's a lot, like that starts earlier when you have a girl and a boy? Like they're very different or?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
I think like when, you know, if they're in their separate bedrooms, they're fine. And then, you know, if one goes to another room, then they can be, you know, somewhat coherent on playing together. But if they both go into the room at the same time and they both see a toy, but then I guess it also depends if they're, you know, in the right mood or not.
Yeah. I get that.
Sense.
Yeah, no, I fully get that. Like sometimes my daughters just come home and they just choose war. Like they just want to fuck each other up.
Yep.
And I can't do anything about it because they're just like, well, it's one of those things too where you're like, Skylar's the oldest, but Skylar's definitely the more emotional one.
Yep.
Whereas Summer's the youngest and she just does not care. Like her brain just is just like, nah, she's just like, I guess so like logical. Like I mean, yeah, it's weird saying that about like an almost 3-year-old, but she'll be very much like, why are you crying? I don't understand why she's crying. She's crying again. Whereas Skylar's very much like, I'm emotional. This is why I'm emotional. And I just see the 2 of them go at each other and I'm like, oh, dude, Summer's going to be a psycho. Like when they're old enough that they could actually have a go, I think Summer's got Skylar all day, which is terrifying. But yeah.
Sorry, you go.
No, you go. I was going to add on to you.
I was just going to say, like, you know, with you being a teacher and all, obviously you're around a whole when there's kids, there's zero tolerance when it comes to fighting. But is there ever a time like when you see your kids fighting, you just let them go?
Oh, bro, 100%.
Like if they're just full hitting each other, full slapping each other, you just let them go?
If it's, I'm always like, I sound like a referee here. I'm always like, no biting.
Yeah.
Once the biting comes out, I'm like, hey, nah, I'm going to deduct a point off that one.
Off for 10.
Yeah, exactly, man. But if I can see that it's like, because I mean, I will say the girls never get to a point where they sort of throw hands. Like I think they'll push and shove and stuff like that, which, you know, coming from like 2 boys, like my brother and I, like we used to throw hands all the time. Like probably not like you never wanted to like really hurt them, but you did want it to be like, hey, just know like I'm the big dog, like you know that. But yeah, there's times where, you know, I know I mainly leave it with like, if Summer's having a go at Skylar, I'm sort of just like, no, you got to do like, there's a part of me that's like, no, you got to like assert yourself. But also with Summer, I'm like, no, don't take shit from her. So like, I'm kind of like the coach in both corners. You know what I mean?
You're like regulating it, but you're encouraging
it. Yeah. And to be honest, man, more often than not, it doesn't actually get to that point. But like, I can imagine with a girl and a boy, like just, you know, stereotypically, I think like once your son sort of realizes he's like, I got this covered. Has it ever sort of sprung into hands with your 2?
Oh, like there'd be so many times where like he, you know, like as you're saying, he's the big dog, but as soon as my daughter gets that one good slap in, like not slapping in the face, but just, you know, slapping on the arm or the back, like
hey, how you going?
Drops like a bag of shit and just like, no, she got a hammer and belted the fuck out of me. but like just very dramatic.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
his mother, but
Yeah. It's always the oldest one always seems like this is coming from an older sibling. Older one always seems a little bit more dramatic. Maybe it's because they're older and they're used to like conflict because of kindy and stuff like that. But I think that's where like Summer's just fearless because I don't think she has like she's really hasn't been in much conflict. I think the only conflict she's ever been in is with her sister. But it is really funny to see the dynamic. But like from what you were saying, like I guess I never want them to get to a point where they do actually proper throw hands. But I mean, it's kind of like inevitable siblings. Like I think when you like I don't know if have you got siblings?
yeah, I've got a sister.
Yeah,
Older sister.
That's actually really good that you've come from like a family of like girl boy as well because you can sort of see the dynamic. Like for me with two girls, I don't really know what to like it's more like verbal. Like Skylar will just be like, "You're not coming to my birthday party anymore, Summer," and I'm like, "Bro, okay." I'm like, "Dude, you could probably come up with something better than that." But for her, that's like the worst of the worst.
Where does that come from? Because my son's even saying that. Like we've planned a whole 5th birthday party for him.
Yeah.
Jumping castle, inviting his friends, and then like, you know, if us as the parents or my daughter does the wrong thing, you're not coming to my birthday party.
Oh, dude, isn't it
fucking heartbroken?
Do you ever? Do you ever? I was talking about this with a mate of mine yesterday. Do you ever like? I know this sounds really bad, but do you ever like almost like your kids push you to a point where you just almost start gaslighting them? So, like for example, Skylar had a fucking tantrum the other day. Like I don't even know what it was about. It's probably one of those emotional things with starting school and stuff. It was about nothing, and she like comes over to me and she's like, "I want my water bottle now, Dad." And I was like, whoa, no. Where are your manners, Chief? And then she goes, "I don't need manners. I'm the boss." And then I sort of took that and I was like, "Oh, you're the boss now? Oh, okay. Well, you know, the boss's job is to unpack the dishwasher. Are you going to unpack the dishwasher?" And she goes, "I'm not unpacking the dishwasher." And I'd be like, "Well, the boss said we're not going to have any dishes today." And then there'll be another one where she wanted me to carry something upstairs. I was like, "Oh, aren't you the boss? I thought you were the boss." "Well, the boss has to carry that up the stairs, Dad. Can't you lift it up?" And like, I just got to a point where, and Kig was like, "Stop being an asshole." I was like, "No, she was being an asshole first."
You're like the antagonist.
Yeah. Like sometimes you let the dog out a little bit. You're like, okay, and now I need to draw it back. She's 4.5. I probably should ease up. But they're those things that you're like, am I a bad parent for doing this? And then you're like, it's kind of just banter. Hopefully she sees it as banter one day. She'll be like, hopefully Dad didn't just gaslight me into thinking I'm the boss or whatever.
Because for the jumping castle, like for instance, like where like because it's just like a kids jumping castle that's got like your Marvel banner on it, so it's got all the superheroes and stuff. And
that's dope.
He's so pumped for it, but then like, you know, his attitude just, you know, declines a little bit. Like, you know, that jumping castle, it's gonna go.
Yeah, it's called leverage, son. Yeah. And I do, but the not coming to your birthday thing is so funny. That just the way that they'll like throw it at you too, even if like they know that you're in charge of like when the birthday happens, and it's just like, "You're not coming to my birthday." Or like Scarlett will come home and she'll be like, "So and so said that I'm not invited to their birthday party," or the new one is like, "So and so said that I'm on the naughty list."
Been around Christmas time.
Bro, that's a big one. You got someone at kindy throwing around that their other person's on the naughty list, bro.
Right, tools down.
As well, mate. You may as well just kick someone in the balls, man. Yeah.
But like even in like my childhood, I never ever remember saying something like that. Like coming to my birthday party or anything like that.
I barely even had a birthday party. I don't think. I think I just had a cake. Just cake and my neighbors.
Yeah, I think like I had like, you know, your what is it? Your 5th, your 10th, your 12th. 16th,
18th, 21. Yeah.
That's like
and then 30th. If you really want to be a big, I did a 30th birthday party, but it was pretty much just an excuse to get the kids looked after and have a drink with the boys.
Yeah, exactly.
But do you find it funny that like because I don't know if it is, but birthdays I feel like are like a big thing. Like not that they never were, but birthday parties. Like everyone's got a birthday party every single weekend.
Yeah.
Dude, like some of the birthday party, like we've bought so many presents for kids that I barely know. Like have you dealt with that as well? Or are you kind of, I don't know what, the kindy ones where they just throw it in the.
Like the little party bags?
Dude. Oh, where you just like, "Oh, so-and-so's birthday." I'm like, "Who's this kid?" I don't know who this kid is. And then Scarlett would be like, "Oh, that's so-and-so." I was like, "Are you friends with them?" "Oh, nah." "Oh, great. Okay, so I'm going to Kmart to buy a present for a kid that I don't even know." Sounds good. The best one was when Kia went away and she's like, "By the way, you got a birthday party to go to on Saturday." I was like, "Who's the kid?" "Oh, this kid." I don't know that kid. I don't even know any of the parents. I rocked up, didn't even know which birthday I was going to because there was like 7 birthdays at the park.
Yeah.
So we were just like playing like, Sky, where's your friend? She's like, I don't know I don't know whose birthday it is. I was like, how the fuck? How do you not know whose birthday it is? You're leading this adventure right now.
Yeah.
But
I think it's a bit different for me because like obviously Taylor works at the daycare that he's at. So like Taylor's not his teacher,
Yeah.
but does know all like the friends he's with.
yeah.
So like she kind of does interact with the parents a little bit. Like when the kids get picked up and stuff. So like, you know, she'll get given an invitation and actually we sort of call her Declan's little girlfriend sort of thing.
Yeah.
And she ended up inviting him to a birthday party and I didn't know about it,
Yeah.
but Taylor forgot about it.
Like the birthday or just the
No,
fact that
forgot about the birthday. And like the invitation was on like the fridge, but it was like hiding behind something else. Cause like, you know, when you have the magnets and stuff.
Dude, I'm so bad with
And
that.
she was going through the what's on the fridge and stuff, chucking shit out that we don't need. And then she's looking at this birthday invitation. Oh yeah, we got this. Oh shit, that was this past weekend.
Oh no.
So she's gotten on the phone, texted.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Basically.
Yeah.
And like she had a full present, everything bought for him, and Declan was devastated. Like,
I can imagine.
he dropped his bottom lip, went to his room and sulked. And like part of me was laughing just because of the whole scenario.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Feeling for him because I know like he probably wanted to go because, you know, not only is it her birthday, but all of his other friends are there.
Yeah, yeah.
And as like just
FOMO, right?
Yeah, FOMO. And like just seeing that as a little kid sort of, it breaks your heart a little bit.
Yeah.
Because you just sort of just picturing yourself, you know, if you were a kid and you were in that situation, you'd probably feel the same.
Yeah, I think it's good though that you kind of did that though. Like I think it's sometimes it's really hard to put yourself in your kid. Yeah, sorry, it's hot, bro. We need to get there.
No, I got something in my eye. It's been bugging me all day.
Oh, true. That is the worst, dude. Yeah, it's something about like putting yourself in your kid's shoes. I think it's really important to do because I don't think a lot of people sort of did that in like the generation before us as parents. Like, I mean, there probably were some, but more often than not, like you probably got the same chat from your dad to be like, oh, harden up, you'll be fine. Or, you know, this will be good. But sort of like dismissing the emotions, whereas you can sort of go in and be like, I get why you're sad. Like it is funny. Like once you get sort of the little giggle, like, oh, this is pretty funny. But then you like put your parent hat back on. You're like, okay, we'll chat it out. I don't think a lot of people, I think that's a very new thing to do, which is pretty cool, especially for like young boys. Like he was probably really sad, and that was probably a moment where I guess he probably felt a little bit vulnerable too. And I think you being like, I get what you're going through. Like I understand it. It sucks. I think that's probably a big thing.
Yeah, but it's also the aftermath of it too. Like, you know, all of his friends go to kindy on the Monday and they talk about, oh, how cool was that party and stuff, and he's just missed out.
Yeah.
He doesn't get to join in on, you know, the fun that they had. And that for me, like what you're just talking about, putting myself in his shoes, because I've actually been through that before where I wasn't able to go to a party due to certain circumstances, and you rock up to school on the Monday and they talk about how cool the party was, and that's where that FOMO kicks in.
Yeah. It's interesting how quickly FOMO sort of develops.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, and then you get to like the age now where I don't think I get any FOMO. I think I get FOMO when I'm out. I'm jealous of like my like Kia being at home, being in bed, being like, yeah, I'm cozy reading a book, and I'm like out. I'm like, fuck, that sounds really good actually.
Is that like half like introvert, extrovert sort of thing?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I spoke to you about it when we recorded like for your pod that I'm like the most introverted or extroverted introvert or introverted extrovert. Like I'm a bit of both, but like I used to get FOMO real bad as a kid. Hey, like I'd want to be at everything, sometimes to my detriment, because you go somewhere and it'd be shit and then you feel like annoyed. But like I remember like how early on sort of like the FOMO starts, like your mates would be having a sleepover or something and you'd be like, fuck, they didn't even invite me, the dogs. And then you sort of start getting really in your head. But like as you said, man, I think sometimes when you've experienced it as well yourself, it actually like it's almost like a double sword going into you when like, oh, I know what that feels like and I really don't want my kids to feel that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is really sort of, I guess it breaks your heart a little bit sometimes. Like when you see them miss out on things, you're like, oh man, that's fucking, I know how that feels. It's going to build character, but God, it sucks.
Yeah. Because what are you, 94, 95?
95.
95, yeah. So we're the same age pretty much.
Yeah.
So like, you know, we went through the same thing. We probably got, you know, Facebook, year 11, year 12.
Yeah.
And it was like the times where people started posting photos of what they were doing, parties on the weekend.
So true,
like
right?
we see all that. The generation before us, you know, they wouldn't have found anything out until
Yeah.
they caught up with each other or phoned someone on the landline or something like that. But then, like, you know, you see stuff these days where everyone's just doing stuff on social media, and it's like, fuck, you know, I wish I was invited, sort of thing.
Yeah, and the thing about social media too is like even if something's shit, people will probably make it look good.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like if something was shit back in the day and you missed it, no one was talking about it. You're like, oh well, I didn't miss anything.
Yeah.
But now, even if it was like, I've had multiple things as like a teenager where you know you see something, as you said, like you see it on Facebook or Instagram, whatever. It looks really really fun, and then you speak to someone about it. They're like, oh no, it was shit. Like there was just some people like rolling around taking photos, and that's about it. And you're like, oh, well, that's good to know.
Yep.
But like they're kind of growing up in this thing where like even like their kindy photos, like I know like, so if Skylar's not at kindy for a day because she's sick, we still get the story park notifications. And like, you know, sometimes she'll be like, oh, what did the kids at kindy do today? And I'll be like, oh, why don't we have a look? And then you go, and I don't even know why I do this because I know you're in like, you're stuck between like a rock and a hard place because they ask you like, oh, what did they do at kindy today? And I'm like, oh, well, do you want to have a look? And then they have a look, and then you'll see them, they're doing something, and Skylar will be like, I really wanted to do that. And you're kind of just like, well, you know, didn't you have a good day with dad? Remember all the fun we had? And then they get to a point where they just want to hang out with their mates. And I didn't realize how quickly that would occur where like they really want to hang out with their friends.
Yeah.
Like it's like they get these like little cute friendships. And then all of a sudden, like you'll go somewhere and you'll be like, oh, Sky, do you want to have a look at this? And she's like, nah, I just want to play with my friends. I'm like, oh, I thought I was your friend, bro. Like,
just cuts you deep.
Yeah, dude, just cuts me deep, man. Yeah. But
sorry, just can I hijack the podcast? Just
go for it, brother.
So I want to know, as a parent and also as a teacher, we've just talked about social media.
Yeah.
What's your take on the social media ban?
Oh, bro, I was actually So the social, I did a video about it. I posted it just recently, actually, just today, because I did it in the last podcast I did, but. Look, as a parent, I think it's really good. Yep. Like I hate social media for kids. I just don't think it's good. But there's sort of two facets to it. Like one is sort of the teenage element where I think it's a tough one to go through because obviously a lot of kids are in it and they use it but I do think it's very detrimental, especially just with the amount of content that's posted and how unregulated it is, stuff like that. I think that's really good. And then, you know, as like a toddler parent or like a young kid, like, you know, like the Minecraft and Roblox, like I know fundamentally those games and stuff like that, especially Minecraft is like, there's benefits to it. It's fun. I've played it before, not Roblox. That was kind of, I chose sort of Grand Theft Auto over Roblox. But those things just purely from a safety point, because there are some like sick fucks out there that there's definitely like elements of safety for those ones, especially. And I think a lot of parents probably need to be really aware of like Roblox and Minecraft. Like there are ways to do it, like Minecraft Ed and stuff like that. But like the public ones, for me, I'm just like, just don't use it. Like even if people do use it, like I'd never judge anyone. Like I'm just hoping they're like following the right things and doing the right things and making sure they know what their kids are doing. Yeah. But so from a safety standpoint, I think it's really good. I don't think social media is like alcohol. Like it's a slippery slope. Like the earlier you start drinking it, the more problems you have, right? Yeah. And you'll delay it for as long as you can. But in terms of like as a teacher, man, and as a teacher on the first day of the social media ban, I have a year 9 class. And I was just out of curiosity. I said to my class, I had them sitting down. I was like, all right, guys, just out of curiosity, this has nothing to do with anything, but put your hand up right now if you are still on social media. Every kid put their hand up. Yep. And I'm like, what was the process of you guys just getting past the barrier? And they said, oh, we just had to click a button that said we were over 16. And I'm like, 6. So none of you are off social media. They're like, nah. And I'm just like, what? So what the fuck? What did everything do? Like the kids just automatic, like they didn't even make it hard.
How are they policing is what I want.
How are they? I don't think they are. And now we have these things, right, where you do have like kids who I guess are honest or whatever, and they've said no. Like, and it's one of those things where if you say no, like that's your answer. So now some kids have it and some kids don't. And then you've now got this like weird sort of thing of like some kids are on it all the time and some kids can't get access to it. So are trying everything in their power to get access to it. And they're feeling really shit now because their mates still have it and they don't because they decided to be honest and say they were under 16. And I just think at the moment it's it's early days, but I can't see them keeping teenagers off social media.
No,
I can't.
I think in this day and age, VPNs, people who are just, computer wizards, they'll find
dude.
ways around it.
Yeah, and I said this in the video that I posted. Like, kids are smart, dude. Like, kids are teenagers are so smart. Like, you might have a teenager and you're like, oh, my kid's not really good at math, or my kid's not really good at English, or whatever. But they're all good at technology, dude. I have not met one kid who is, how you meet like a random adult and the adult's just like, I don't know what I'm doing on this.
Yeah.
I have not met one kid that is like that. Like, I even teach kids who like, are on the spectrum for like autism and things like that, and people sort of write them off and be like, oh, that kid's not going to be able to do it. I'm like, bro, that kid is 100% going to be able to like find a way on it. And things like YouTube Shorts and things like that, like there's so much social media. I don't know. That's why in the video I said like it needs to be up to parents. Like, parents have got to, like, the era of being a naive parent is gone. Like, you can't be naive. Like, even like think about, like, you're on social media as well, posting content and stuff like that. You know how social media works. Like, like we spoke about it even like when you chopped up that video and put it up, I said to you, I was like, this is going to make people angry, and this is also going to make people feel like they're seen. So it means there's going to be comments, which means it's going to push the algorithm, which it's, it's one of those things where social media is not just like, oh, it's all fun and it's an algorithm. It knows exactly what, if your kid starts watching something and it might be a little bit off, they're going to be just fed that no matter what age they are. So,
and they're just going to keep, digging deeper and going off in different directions.
Oh, big time. Are you nervous about when your son sort of goes into that sort of realm?
Yeah. Like, I think, and we can all say that we're gonna police it. We're gonna make sure that they're doing the right thing. But like you said, they're always gonna find ways to get in and around it. I guess the only thing you can really do is you can try and push them in the right direction. Like, what's that saying? Lead a horse to water or something.
Yeah, but you can't make him drink.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So it's like you can encourage them to go in the right direction. In some ways, you got to try and make them learn the lesson that needs to be learned, but at the same time, like you said, there are a lot of sick fucks on the internet.
Yeah.
You don't want them going down that route, but you just got to make them aware that there are certain things on social media that are dangerous. There are also some things on social media that are good.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's all about guiding them the right way. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, I get what you mean, man. It's one of those. Do you find that like having, I guess, knowledge of social media, because I like the way you premised it as like we all say what we're gonna do, because that's a really good point. I have a fucking real bone to pick with those like performative parents. The people that jump on like fake podcasts or something like that, and they'll talk about, when my son has this, and I'll make sure it's blah blah. And I'm like, how do you know? You're dealing with something, like you're acting as though you're raising yourself. Like you're not raising it. You're raising something that's completely different from yourself.
And the person that says that is from a complete different generation to what your kid is.
Oh, absolutely. Like even people, like even us talking about it right now, like when our kids are teenagers, there's going to be things that like I'm hoping that I'm aware of, and I'm going to do my best to be aware of all these different little platforms and stuff like that. But there's stuff popping out of the ground every day. There's a new app or a new thing. Like I even remember when like Tinder came out for the first time. Like even things like that. Like our parents couldn't even fathom that type of that type of like method of dating.
Yeah.
And that's how a lot of like teenagers at that, well, like 18, 19-year-olds, that's how they were like meeting up with people. Yep. Which like if I was a parent and I worked out what Tinder was, when say for example I have like an 18-year-old daughter, and she was explaining what Tinder was, I'd be like, get the fuck off that shit. Like, do you know how many crazy people are online? Like, but what are you gonna do? You can't, if you tell them they can't do something.
Yeah, they're gonna.
And that's the fine line of like parenting, right? Like you want to be harsh on them, but you also want to make sure that like, am I depriving them of something that they're going to want to do under my nose? You know what I mean? Like you don't want to raise a sneaky kid.
Yeah.
But you also,
Yeah. Well, it's going to be like the same, like inevitably it's going to happen, but it's like, when you're living in a house and your daughters get to the point where they're going to start dating.
Yeah.
And you say to them, don't bring boys over, or make sure you keep the door open or anything like that. They're going to do the complete opposite.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Does that, because that fucking terrifies me. But does that? I guess it's good that your daughter's gonna have an older brother.
Yeah,
that can sort of put the foot down more than you, so you don't have to choke out a kid.
And the good thing is too, like because Taylor's family she's got a very big family.
Yeah.
So like she's got a lot of our kids have a lot of boy cousins as well. So it's like it's all a tight knit family. So I guess in that sort of sense, and there are a couple of girls in the family sort of around like the toddler age. So obviously when they grow up to be, you know, young teenagers and adults, I don't know if would you use the word they do have that protection, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I think they would. I think they would, man.
Yeah.
Like for sure, especially if they've grown up together.
Yeah, so I guess like I said, you know, you can encourage them and try and direct them in the right path, but at the end of the day, you don't want to, like, you can say you don't want them to do it, but it's just going to be the complete opposite.
Yeah, it's really hard to do. Like that's why I get so mad about the performative stuff, because I'm just like, dude, like you don't know what your kid's going to be like next year. Like you're telling me like my kid's never going to do this, my kid's never going to do that. I'm like, dude, I don't think that's the right way to, like, I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to get views. They're trying to get people to be like, yeah, I'm going to do the same for my kid, blah, blah, blah. But I'm just like, it's not really like reflective of what parenting is actually like. Yeah. Like you might have a really strong value or something like that you really want to instill in your kids, and your kids just like, they just don't pick it up. Like, I mean, the word, like the biggest thing I've got is like, you know, I wanted to sit down and watch John Cena's last wrestling match. Yeah. And Skylar was just like, dude, why are we doing this? Yeah. I was like, but this is really fun. And like, I know, different example, but like she just wasn't into it. And it's probably going to be like that for like some bigger things in our life too, where I'm like, this is really important. You should really take this seriously. And she'll be like, nah, that's not me. I don't want to do that. That's you, Dad. It's
like the same. Like, you know, my kids are really into the animation Grinch.
Yeah, yep.
With Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah, I know the one. Yeah. So that's like, a good one though. I like that.
It is. When you watch it for like 6-7 times,
see, that's like me with Frozen, bro. Fuck Frozen, dude.
But it's like that aspect. Like, you know, they say, oh, you know, come watch this. It's so exciting. I'm like, yeah, 6-7 times. No, it's not.
Yeah, you're like, how do you still like this? Yeah. Like, it's pretty incredible that kids do that. Like, that's wild.
But have you seen? I think the profile name on Instagram is called Sammy Thompson. And they post like real nostalgic videos.
Is it like the AI type one?
Possibly.
I think I posted one the other day about being a kid, like what it was like being an Aussie kid in the 2000s.
2000s. Yeah, and it was like swinging on the clothesline, watching TV. They had a big box on the back.
Yes, yeah. I don't know if this is just me, or do you find getting nostalgic is becoming more frequent now?
Yeah, 100%.
Like, I just feel like, I don't know, I go through these like rabbit holes on like TikTok or whatever, where I see like a lot of nostalgic things, like the Blockbuster videos and stuff like that.
Video Easy.
Yeah. And it never really used to get to me now, but then I don't know whether it's because the world's changed so much and there's a part of me that really, I don't know, I think everyone thinks this, but I really think that and I say this because you're the same age as me, I think we grew up in probably like one of the best times.
Oh, I 100% agree.
Like, and I don't know if I'm biased, but like we didn't have we were on that cusp of like, we had Xboxes and PlayStations and very early primitive social media. Like, I remember doing my MySpace page and shit, and that was like a big deal.
Did you ever have Bebo?
Bro, I had Bebo. Yeah, dude. Bebo was
MSN?
Yeah, MSN. Yeah. Like all that shit. And I'm really like nostalgic of that, because the stuff now is just, I don't know, it feels like way more invasive. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like if you're putting stuff online now, it's like everything's really, like everything's done online now with kids, like whether they're trying to meet up with things or whatever. Whereas like I still get really nostalgic of like the days where you would go to like Blockbuster and get like a game, and the game wouldn't fucking work because it was scratched to shit, and you had to go get it cleaned. And I don't know what that is. Like, I don't know why nostalgia builds up so much as you get closer to 30.
Yeah. And then like you get like, it's like coming from the Video Easy things, as I always remember, it was like finish footy training on a Thursday night, you go to Video Easy, you get like a new game that's come out, and you're pissed off because the new games are always overnight hire.
Yes. And you got to play it in one night.
Not the 3-day hire.
Dude. It's playing Final Fantasy and you can't even get through past like the first like few levels because the game takes like fucking 20 hours to complete, and you have it one night. Yeah,
and then also it takes you half a day just to try and figure out what the controls are and shit.
Dude, yeah, those were the best though. Like that, and even down to like the effort you had to go into. Like, you know, now I just noticed it because I pay for because I'm on holidays now. I pay for like PlayStation Plus. So like they have like a catalog of older games that you can sort of just download. So downloading, I think I'm gonna try and download. I don't know if Red Dead Redemption's on there, but anyway, but you almost
I just finished that.
yeah. Oh, dude, how good that game is so fucking good, man. And you get almost like overwhelmed with the amount of choice you have.
Yeah.
But whereas like, you know, when you went to Video Easy, it was like, oh, that's the game you want. Oh, it's not there. Oh, fuck. Well, what are we going to do? Are we going to get another game or something like that? Like there's no, now there's like, you know, you could just go in and it's not about the availability. It's just like, it's there. It's data. You can just get it and play it.
Yeah.
And I think those things like, I don't know if I told you this in the last podcast, but when I've recently like just started, if the girls want to watch a bit of TV, I'll put ABC Kids on, but I'll do it on free to air.
Yep.
And the reason why I do it on free to air is because I want them to watch ads. So like I just want to like, because I notice that the kids like they'll be watching something, it'll just go straight into something else. And I'm like, fuck this, man. I had to like listen to so many shitty ads when I watch TV. So like the kids will be like, Dad, there's an ad on. I was like, yeah, you got to watch it. And they're like, but it's the 5th ad. And I was like, yeah, that sucks, hey. So you got to go through 5 ads to get back to Bluey. Unfortunately, that's life. And it's like one of those things where you like, it's almost like learning patience. Like they're like, you got to watch this shit to then get to the show that you want to watch.
Have you ever found yourself like doom scrolling, and obviously, you know, it sets your algorithm, but like you start watching like old cartoons that you used to watch, but
Yes.
like you know, they've got Bananas in Pajamas, they've got Thomas the Tank Engine, but it's all like the animated stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas back when we watched it, it was like claymation, fucking proper costumes. Like Fireman Sam was the fucking goat, and it was
so
just
good.
claymation, everything, and like
Even like Thomas now, bro.
Yeah.
Thomas is like animated now. I was like, the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's a big movement actually online at the moment about there's actually been like genuine research done around like the color textures, the intensity of the show, and there was like a study done on like a kid's brain. I need to post this because this sounds fucking stupid if I don't find this video, but it was like analyzing like a kid's sort of like I guess the way they watch when they're watching like something that's highly animated that's new. And then I think they were watching Bear in the Big Blue House, you know, Bear in the Big Blue House. And it's like the colors were softer. It was puppets. It was like very almost like slower moving, less like, I guess, songs. Like there was a song every so. And they were like saying how it was like actually less. It was affecting the kid less than the new stuff that's like fucking bang, bang, bang. Like, dude, you watch an episode of Paw Patrol sometimes and I feel like I'm having an aneurysm. Like it's just like a new problem now and holy shit, there's another guy and there's another dog. There's another dog. And now these 5 cats. And you're just like, how do you keep up with all this shit? Whereas like Bear in the Big Blue House, it was like there's some bear singing at the moon with a little mouse. Yeah. And it was like really chill. And I'm like, I'm starting to actually like put the older shows on for the girls, being like, no, let's watch this because this is a show that I used to watch. And I know it's one of those things where it's like, am I putting my childhood onto the kids? But I once again just think that I think TV was just better back then.
Yeah, like we grew up in the greatest generation. I'm not gonna. It's 100% the truth. People are gonna, you know.
No, you know what? This is gonna be my viral video from you. We're gonna clip it up and we're gonna say we are 95, whatever era we're in, whatever era we were born in, is the best era.
I reckon 1990 to 1996.
Yes, that's a good one because then you into the 2000s, and you know the fucking we had the recession, so maybe that wasn't too good for our parents. But you know we're dealing with housing crisis at the moment, so you know you give some, you take some. But no, I reckon we had it best growing up. We were still skateboard kids or bike kids, latchkey kids. We could come home, still play PlayStation, all that sort of stuff.
I feel like we're the generation where we could go out. It was safe to go out, and you knew it was home time by the street lights coming on.
Yeah, absolutely, dude.
And anything after that, I feel is just like that's when shit started to get a bit sketchy.
Yeah, like even down to like, you know, when we were talking before about the online thing and like trying to explain to your kids that there are bad people online. For us, it was like, hey, like, you know, your dad would be like, hey, you see that house down the street and there's that weird shirtless guy? Just don't fucking go near that guy. Like, he's a weirdo. Don't go near him.
And you knew to not.
And you knew. And you could visually see, like, yeah, that dude's a fucking odd fella. Yeah, I won't be going down there. You know, that was the stranger danger like we were dealing with. It was like, you see a sketchy dude, you fucking leg it. You just go away. Now, like even the stranger danger chats now are like, hey, so you know that person you were talking to online, and I'm not saying this has happened because my kids are young, but you know, they might be like 12 or whatever, and this might happen. Like, you know that person you were talking to, I don't think that's an actual, I think that might be like a person pretending to be someone else. And that's a terrifying conversation to have. That is way harder than being like, don't go near like Scary Terry on the edge of the street. Like,
Yeah.
and I think that's the stuff we're kind of dealing with now, which just puts so much anxiety.
Yeah, and especially like with social media and stuff, there's a lot of fake profiles.
Dude, so many burner accounts.
Yeah.
Like,
How do you think they police that? Like, and this is probably going to be a bit controversial, but do you think, and it could be Australia, it could be Queensland, it could be worldwide, but do you think there should be a social media license that's linked to your government license in a way that if something was to happen online, for example, and this is probably the most popular one, cyberbullying.
yeah, big time.
If you are linked to an account that has been, cited for cyberbullying, you think you're making a fake profile, but it's actually linked to a social media license that's linked to your government license. Because if they're banning social media under 16, you gotta assume that every 16-year-old and above will have their learners or some sort of a license.
Yeah.
So if people in grade 11, grade 12 are trying to put shit into schools or how school bullying and cyberbullying sort of happens, well, no, you don't have a fake profile to go on. If you want to do that, you need to do it from your actual
like
page.
it's connected. Like
It's
you can
connected,
see that if like someone, because more often than not, if you you could go through the video that you posted as well. More often than not, if you click on someone who's like overtly hateful, like just says some like real fucked up stuff, you can click on the profile and it's got nothing. It's literally not. It's a burner account, and I just think you're probably right on that. In now it's a very tight line, right? Because if you do say, oh, everyone is only allowed one, then you do have to give up certain amount of like identification.
Yeah.
And I think that's where social media is probably headed. They're probably heading into that. And I think that's where there's like obviously that like big pushback around digital ID and stuff like that. It's like ebbs and flows. Like there's always going to be positives, there's always going to be negatives. Like the negatives are if you are saying it's like one profile per person, then you obviously have to verify that with like details and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then if you take that away, which I think, everyone sort of has a right to be able to do what they want, to an extent, unless you're being a fucking nutcase. But then you sort of like, I get why people sort of push back about, oh, I don't want people knowing my details. I don't want people knowing this or knowing that or knowing that but it's also like, it's a fucking bitch thing to do. Like you are a proper bitch.
Coward is how I'll put it, because
absolutely.
if you're going to be a keyboard warrior and you're going to, go on social media, and it happens a lot. It happened when I was at school. It probably happens a lot now. If you are making a fake Instagram page, a fake Facebook page, you're going on there, you're teasing someone, you're bullying someone, you're telling someone to go and kill themselves, you are the coward.
Oh, absolutely, dude. And it happens more and more. Like I know so many, like, well, I don't know so many. I just know this from being a teacher and like, kids being like, oh, I got that's my burner account. That's my I'm like, why the fuck do you have two accounts? Like, what do you do? Why do you need that? Whenever I hear there's a burner account, I'm always like, I never think like, oh, that's a good way to sort of keep an eye on things. I'm always like, if you got a burner account, you're either selling drugs, like relentlessly teasing people, or you're being deceitful to God knows what. You're trying to hide something. So when people tell me that they might have a burner account to comment on things, I was like, what else are you doing on that account?
Yeah.
Like, are you that worried? One, if you're saying something that you need a burner account for, like what the fuck's happened in your life that you're so negative that you feel the need to create a new account because you don't want people to know it's actually you? But I also know there's like a lot of accounts on social media and stuff like that are just like bot accounts too. Like they're just accounts that have been made as like a person, but the person doesn't really exist, just to sort of fill up like engagement for people. Like people can buy like comments and followings on Instagram. Like it's very obvious when people do it, but people still do it, which is like really odd. And there's so many of them that I don't even know how they could possibly police it. It's one of those things where it's like, I guess you just need to take care of your own backyard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like make sure that your kids are doing the right thing, which is really hard to do because, you know your kids. Unfortunately, a version of your kids, but then as they get older, you know them as your kid, but you don't know them as a person. You're just hoping that you're giving them the tools to make sure that when they go in the world, they're a good human being. And I think that's one thing, like I know for a fact that if you're aware of that stuff, like, you are and I am, you're definitely probably going to talk about it or be more, I guess, onto it if you notice that your kids are doing some like, sketchy stuff.
Yeah,
like being like,
100%.
why do you have 2 accounts? Why do you have this? What's this for? What's it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can sort of, I guess, probe them a little bit. But
I think also too, like, and if it was to happen with a social media license, it's not gonna have details on there that gives everything away. It's just your name and a photo ID.
Yeah.
Because, like, you say to kids, if you want to be on social media, that's cool. Have a license to be on there.
Yeah.
Watch how quick the bullying stops.
Dude.
When they know that if they were to bully and then police get involved, and they can just go, all right, we'll bring up your social media license. You have your name, your photo ID, and then the police are able to link that to your actual license. Your actual license has your address, your date of birth, and like all that sort of stuff that to know that it is that person that's doing it. Watch how quick it just goes.
Oh, dude, it would, because then people are held accountable. Like it's all like
accountability
is everything, man. I said this last podcast too around like the adult time for adult crime.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand how if a kid is getting in trouble with the law, like how can you not sort of put onus and blame on a parent? Like if you have had that kid, and I don't really give a fuck what your scenario is, right? If your kid is a delinquent and is like robbing houses and so I'm like, no, I'm not talking just like mucking up at school. Like most kids muck up at school. But I'm talking like is a hazard to society and you're not being held accountable as a parent because you fucked up. Like at the end of the day, like you fucked up. Like you can't say like, oh, it's my kid, but I didn't have any control over the kid. I'm like, you did because it came out of you, or you did because you put it in there.
Yeah,
like
100%.
You know what I mean? Like you can't just be like, oh, I got nothing over. Like it's your responsibility then to fucking work and make sure that your kid doesn't end up in jail for like robbing a house at 14.
Yeah.
So like the adult time for adult crime, absolutely, I think it should happen. But there's got to be an element where parents are getting charged too. Like if your kid's fucking up someone's house, that comes back to you. Yeah. It's your kid. Like, because I know for a fact most of the people I know, like their kids might muck around at school or whatever, but I can guarantee you none of them are fucking breaking into houses. Like that comes from some serious trauma, which is most likely been inflicted by a parent, which is like rough. It sounds really bad, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Like,
yeah. And like if a kid is doing an adult crime, regardless of what their age is, I reckon the whole name and shame thing, it should come into what's the word? Like come into it because, you want to do a crime that an adult does, that adult gets named.
Yeah, exactly.
Just because you're under 18 shouldn't, waiver the fact that you're doing an adult crime. You're breaking into people's houses, you're stealing cars, you're hooning, all that sort of shit. Fucking name them.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Watch how quick that stops.
Yeah, because it's once again accountability. If they're not accountable as like teenagers, how you really think they're gonna like what is gonna change in their head that's gonna make them accountable as adults?
Yeah,
like nothing's gonna change.
Yeah, and then our government, when do they become accountable,
bro? Don't like
that's another podcast.
Oh, dude, that's a big one, man. Because especially everything that went on yesterday. Holy fuck, dude! Like I don't know if you saw any like see for me when I see something like that, because I don't know, like I think because it's just online and nowadays like you can see everything a lot more, like everything's on there, like you never used to, it used to be like a news report and then you'd see like the news stuff and the news sort of cameras were sort of very vague, like you sort of got but now you're seeing it like real time.
All those videos yesterday,
like
holy.
Dude, I think I was just scrolling. I'm pretty sure Isaac Butterfield, do you know Isaac Butterfield? Yeah. So I'm pretty sure he posted a video that he found on X that was of it happening, and it was still happening when he posted about it. He's like, this is still happening right now. And like that's never happened before, dude. All these things, and once again, social media, there are kids probably being able to watch this.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine being 14 and you're on social media and you flick through and you can see a live, like, gunman at Bondi Beach?
Yeah.
Like, that is, like, I really don't think we fucking understand what these kids are growing up in. Because that did, like, you would have to go to the deepest, darkest depths of the dark web to find a shootout video when we were kids. And now they're just opening their phone. It's like, oh, here's a video. Channel 9's posted this fucking grainy footage of this dude just like topping people off. Like it's insane. And then, I just saw like videos of like parents shielding their kids and running away and stuff like that. And that fucked me up big time because like, I guess when you're a parent and you see it, like when it's in America, and like this is not taking away like the severity of it, but when it's in America, you're like, that's very far away. I can't see. But when it's at a place that we literally went to like a couple months ago when we went to Sydney, and you're like, we were just walking through there with no worry in the world. And I saw like pictures of the festival, and it was like a, you know, it was like a community pop-up festival. It wasn't just like Jewish people that were there. There were people that were just rolling through like, oh, this is cool. We'll roll through, like a lot of families. And then just to know that those families were just in a second, you're a gunshot, and then like are running, protect. Like, what the fuck?
You're not waking up yesterday thinking that you're going to be involved in a, you know, shooting massacre.
Right. It fucks you up too, because now, like, you know, now it's in my head. Like, if I go to the Botanic Gardens here, and God forbid, like anything happens in Brisbane, but I'm like nervous now. Like, I'm real nervous about like if I've got my kids in a public place. Like it's really heightening up that anxiety of like, fuck, this stuff could actually happen. Like it could. I'd never ever thought until now that I would leave my house and potentially you could be in the middle of like gun violence.
Yeah, you'd never think it'd happen in your own backyard.
No, and I think that's the scariest part of all this is the fact that it has now happened in our backyard. It's not happening overseas. You're just like, especially as a parent, you're just nervous.
Yeah,
like,
and it breaks my fucking heart that there was a 10-year-old girl that was killed this close to Christmas, like, and everyone in the general aspect of things, like this close to Christmas, like, you know, I want to know out of all those people, how many of them were Jews?
Yeah,
you know, did they actually accomplish what they were trying to?
Yeah, like what did they?
Fuck,
it's what, like,
just.
Yeah, like what did they? Yeah, dude, I know it's a fucking. It's just, but yeah, like I said, never in a million years would I think that this would happen here. And like these are the disasters that you sort of hear about, and you'll hear about it. You know, it might pop up in the news in like 10, 15 years, and it almost like brings you back to that emotion of like I remember like literally I saw it and I raced down. Kia was in the shower with the girls, like washing their hair, and I was like, Kia, there's a fucking like mass shooting in Sydney, and she was like, no. And I was like, it's happening right now.
Yeah.
Like it's on right now. And then like you're just sitting there and we turn the news on. We never watch the news. Like it's very rare unless it's like COVID or something big happens, a storm. And we're just watching the news being like even the fucking, this sounds so dumb, but like the cricket was even, like they even took the cricket off the air for a second to put the news on. And you're like, holy shit. Like, yeah, man, it is very scary. Getting real in the field, but that's one of the things. Like these are things that we're now dealing with, and I never would have thought these are things that we deal with. You know, as like a country, I'm like, holy shit! Like,
and like, how's old mate wrestling the gun from that guy?
What a fucking savage!
Yeah,
that is. I don't think I'd ever have the balls to like. He just fucking, dude. I can't, and even just the restraint to sort of like not just. Absolutely blow him to smithereens.
If it was me, it would be two or three pumps right in the fucking head.
Dude, I was just like the restraint to do that. But I don't know, like, yeah, you wonder, because then you think about like the legal system here. Like if he did do that, like would he then, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, 100%.
I've seen some situations where people have been heroes and then they've been like, oh no, but it's manslaughter because you've done this.
The only thing I hate about like that scenario right there is the fact that the media they've named him, they've named what shop he works at.
Yeah.
They've named the details about him. Like, what's to stop, you know, because
a retaliation.
Or like the people have the same ideology what those two did. What's to stop them to go to his shop, set his shop on fire, kill him? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, yes, hail him as a fucking hero because every man and their dog probably wouldn't do it. They'd be running the other direction.
Yeah.
But, you know, for him now, and I hate to think that this is what it's going to come to, he's a marked man because people know who he is. Yeah,
and the crazy thing, I think he's an Islamic man too. Like,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure he was like, which is pretty crazy. Like to do the balls to do that, like, and to, I guess, you know, speaking out of pocket here, I don't know the full details, but if he sort of, maybe he knew, maybe he didn't, of what their motives were. But to do that is just like the amount of, you know, you think about it, and I hate to think this, but for him to do that, the amount of lives that potentially have been saved because
Oh,
he
100%.
had the fucking balls to do
Yeah.
that. Like that is, you know, people talk about masculinity and shit like that. That is fucking peak. Like he has kids, he has a wife, and he still was just like, I'm
He
doing
ended up
this.
getting shot too.
Yeah, he was shot twice in the arm.
Yeah.
Like, but apparently, like, there was a guy, I saw an interview with one of the guys that, like, went and saw him at hospital, and apparently he's doing okay, and I hope
Yeah,
he's
that's
doing
good.
okay, man. That man, like, he'll never have to, not that he probably drinks, but never has to buy beer in Australia ever again.
I read
Like,
something. There was a billionaire over in America that
I read the same thing,
100
yeah.
grand to his GoFundMe.
fuck yeah, dude. I know Adam Sullivan from EBT is doing the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
mate, that dude should be exempt from tax for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
To do that, like, that could have ended so many different ways. Like,
Yeah.
so many different ways. And the way it ended was him just being a fucking G.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, shit like that. It's 2025, 2026 next year. Like, yeah, that's a whole nother podcast.
Bro, I don't even know what we're fucking
Let's get
going.
back.
Yeah,
Let's get back to talking kids.
Back to talking about being a dad. But you know, on that, like, he's a dad. He was a dad, and
Yeah.
he like that dude's gonna be a fucking hero, and that's gonna be a story that, like, I think he'll never have to tell his kids because so many other people will tell his kids for him. Like, that's your dad's a fucking weapon.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But
Speaking of childhood,
yeah,
can we visit the fact that yesterday our childhood, part of our childhood, went to bed and went to bed for good.
I know, man. John Cena.
John Cena retires after 26 years?
Bro,
25 years?
Mate, I remember the ruthless aggression
Yeah.
to Kurt Angle, bro. I remember that. Like, I was talking to my mate about it. Like, this is one of those times where we're officially old.
Yep.
We are officially old, brother, because the way people talk about John Cena now is probably the way that people spoke about Hulk Hogan when we were younger.
Yeah.
You know, like when Hulk Hogan would come in and you'd be like, "No, who's this old fella? Like, what the fuck is he doing?" And then, you know, your dad would be like, "How dare you
Yeah.
talk about Hulk like that?" Or like those sort of things. But that's the time frame that sort of, like, when we talk about John Cena, and if you're like you know, I don't know, maybe he's one of those people who's transcended like the time situation, and he's not like, you know. Oh, by the way, is that still recording? I don't know how much is on there.
Yep.
Yeah, beautiful. He's sort of transcended time, right? Because there's like bloody 12, 13, 14-year-old kids who are still into John Cena,
Yep.
which is pretty incredible.
But even kids these days, they probably will think of John Cena as the movie actor. And not the wrestler that fucking changed wrestling.
Bro, not something of Thugonomics?
Oh, the Doctor of Thugonomics?
Doctor of Thugonomics,
The Chain
bro.
Gang?
The Chain Gang. Yeah. Far out, dude. That was like, yeah, dude. I even remember seeing like footage of him when he was at, I think it's OVW.
Yep.
And he was the prototype.
Prototype.
Bro, and he would do that thing where he would like say a promo and then he'd be like, and then he'd do the promo again. Bro, that shit is the best. Like, I've never, like, he is just, oh, dude, he's just childhood hero, man. Like, when you think of a WWE champion, you think of John Cena. You think of the spinning belt.
Was the ruthless aggression with Kurt Angle, was that your first memory of him?
That's my first. Actually, no, that's not my first. I don't think I really, like, he really popped into, like, I remember like Thugonomics, like the Chain Gang,
Yep.
John Cena. I remember the basketball jerseys and shit like that. I remember when he'd say like fucking insane shit that you could never say today.
Yeah. My first recollection of John Cena, this is the first time wrestling was ever showed to me. It was John Cena and Big Show in a battle rap. Have you ever seen that?
I think I have, man. I think I have actually seen it. I cannot remember it, but I do remember it happening. Like,
it's the best thing ever.
yeah.
And like because I think that happened in 2005. So
Yeah, there you
being
go.
a 10-year-old kid,
Yeah.
I thought this is fucking gold. This is like peak entertainment.
Yeah, it's the best. I even also remember, you know, when Santino Marella
Yeah,
would
yeah.
be like, John Cena.
Yeah.
John Cena.
Hello, John Cena. Rodney the Piper.
Yeah, Rodney Piper. Dude, that shit always, like, I think people like Santino Marella and stuff like that, like, I think John Cena's character was fucking perfect for those, like, weird little, like, you know, cameo wrestler guys.
Yeah.
Because he would always just make such fucking good jokes around promos based on those people.
What did you think of his retirement run?
His retirement run, dude, there was always a part of me that thought it was fake. You know what I mean? You know how like kayfabe and stuff like that. There was
Yep.
always a part of me that was like, he's G'ing this up. He's G'ing this up. He's going to like come back. He's going to do whatever. But then I don't know. The more it went on, the more I sort of felt as though like it was real. Like I listened to his episode on like Joe Rogan, which like
How good was that episode?
it was great. I wish it sounds bad, but I wish Duncan Trussell spoke more and Joe probably spoke less because like Joe would always talk about like the you know, what do you do for like the, you know, healing and your body injuries and stuff like that. Whereas Trussell would always sort of,
was that the other guy that was with him?
yes,
That was Tony Hinchcliffe.
No, sorry, Tony Hinchcliffe.
Yeah.
Why did I say Duncan Trussell? But anyway, yeah, but because he's a mad wrestling fan, he was asking like really good questions about like the different things, like different scenarios and all that. And I like when a real wrestling enthusiast interviews wrestlers.
Yep.
Because I feel like they ask questions that I definitely like. I know the surface level people might be like, this is really interesting, but I want to know like the ins and outs of like the business.
Yeah.
And I think it was really cool, some of the stories he told about like how things worked or why things worked and things like that.
Yep.
Like I know it wasn't in this podcast, but him talking about, I don't know if you remember the scene when him and Batista went over the Royal Rumble and landed at the same time, and Vince McMahon came out genuinely fucking fuming.
Yeah.
And he tore both of his quads. And he couldn't stand up.
Yeah.
And like the whole thing, oh, dude, I'll have to get the footage because I want to clip this up. But the footage is fucking hilarious because he's genuinely wants to rip Batista and John Cena's head off,
Yeah.
but he can't physically stand up.
yeah.
So he looks like, you know, the dude, you know, the dog from Family Guy?
Yeah.
The
Brian?
No, not that
the
dog.
other one?
You know, the sick dog with the legs don't move?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He's like wandering around, like losing his shit about that. And like, it's knowing that that's all not scripted is my favorite fucking thing ever.
Yeah.
Like, so good.
I read something today.
Yeah.
I'll repeat it here.
Yeah, sick.
Raj Giri from, I think it's the Pro Wrestling Spotlight. He says, I just rewatched the Cena Gunther match. Cena tapping and then post-match with Cena posing with two belts that weren't his. Triple H getting booed out of the building. Cena watching a video and not giving a speech. It sucked. And then looking at his retirement tour from January to tonight. It really sucked. I don't care if that's what Cena wanted. It sucked. WWE has been great from 2022 to 2024. This year has been a decline creatively. I hope they can get back on track next year.
Damn.
I hate to say it, but I agree with it.
Yeah. What party do you, this is actually so funny that we've gone down this track. I love it.
Maybe we do a separate podcast on just wrestling.
Oh, bro, we could 100% do that. No, but we can, I like this. We can finish this up and then we'll get into the last question and then I'll send you on your way, bro. What do you think if so Ty Avery,
Yep.
You're now the creative director at WWE.
Yep.
John Cena's just told you he's got 1 year left. How would you go about retiring John Cena? John Cena.
It's a funny thing. The whole heel side of things, I think it was
That was an odd one, right?
Him teaming up with The Rock it just never made sense.
Mm.
Like I get he's the final boss, but yeah, just I think he developed a character that was so unique to being the good guy that being the bad guy, like if he was to be the bad guy, it had to be earlier in his career.
Yes,
I think
agreed.
that final run should have just been a whole.
And he was a bit of a bad guy at one point.
Yeah,
You know
he
what I
was.
mean?
Like
Yeah.
at the start of his career, he
Yeah.
was. But I think, he'd built himself a character to be the good guy that it should have just stayed that way.
Yeah.
I think him winning the Intercontinental Championship so late, just to be able to call him a Grand Slam champion.
Yeah. It felt forced, right?
I think something like that maybe should have happened at the start instead of him winning a 17th title.
Yeah.
Like, if anything, have him win the 17th title on the last match and then retire as champion.
And then put the belt in the middle. And then they can almost start from scratch. Do like some fucking insane like ladder match or something.
Yeah, and then just even winner of the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, just becomes champion.
Just becomes champion.
Ooh. That would be cool.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And yeah, I liked it to a point. And like, even with him going on Rogan and saying, he planned to have 220 dates.
Yeah.
They only gave him 36.
That's pretty wild. Hey, I didn't
Like-
realize that because it shows like even someone at his level is really just Got to do what the man says,
he
right?
wants to give back in the best way he knows how, and
Yeah.
then he gets declined and says, no, we'll only have you for 36. Like,
It's like the biggest draw card.
yeah.
Like you could make you like from a business standpoint, you could fucking pump so much money.
And that's
out
what
of
I
this.
mean. And that's probably
Yeah.
what you're probably right by saying it's forced, because you're trying to fit so much in such little dates. Like, I get the whole reasoning of wanting to give other people a go. Like, and that's probably why, like, if you had him for 220 dates, someone else has to
even
miss
him
out.
like putting Gunther over like in the last match is pretty huge.
I think,
Not that he really needed much help to get over.
and you know what? Speaking of that, I saw something on that like exact thing when it was Bret Hart versus Stone Cold, and you know Bret Hart had him in the sharpshooter. He didn't tap out; he just passed out,
Yeah.
and that was the whole thing of like, you know, Cena tapped out, Cena gave up,
Yeah.
and his quote is, you know, never give up.
Yeah.
So
I didn't
like,
even think about that actually.
so like I think, you know, for that kind of a finish, we all knew Gunther was going to win. We all knew he was going to win the tournament.
Yeah.
But I think to have him go out that way where he tapped, I think isn't the right thing.
It was weird.
It felt very, again, forced.
Yeah. Maybe a DQ. Maybe Dirty Dom comes in and just fucks him up. Probably been done before, right?
Yeah. I think you got to give him that respect to just to have that one-on-one match. But yeah, just to choke him out like that, like he should have just had that smile on his face and then just went to sleep
Yeah, that would have been cool.
instead of tapping out.
Yeah, and then they just wake him up by like putting 3 belts on him.
Yeah. But like that's what they did. They did that with Hogan when he retired.
Yeah.
It was Cena and Batista put the belts on Hogan, and then fast forward, you know, years later, they put the Cody and CM Punk put the belts on him.
Yeah.
So I think it's just kind of like a full circle thing. But you know, I think his retirement run would have been a lot better if he worked those 220 dates instead of 36. Because again, like you said, it just felt forced.
Yeah.
A retirement run like that, you don't want it to feel forced. You just want it to be natural.
That's it, man. No, I agree. And it's one of those things where it's like you only get to do it once.
Exactly.
Like you get one chance at it.
Yeah.
Bro, because I do actually I would be so keen to actually start like a spin-off show where we just talk about dumb shit that we're both into, because we have so much shit.
Let's fucking do it.
That would be mad. We should do that. Okay, we
are,
could definitely.
We are action guys. We do what we say.
Exactly. We just straight up do what we say.
Yep.
Straight up. Last one though, because I know you probably need to get home. But
I can talk for days.
I know you can. I know you can. We did it. We did a big one. Last one we want to go on. We'll end on a positive because there was a couple ups and downs in that one for good reason. It was a great chat.
Yep.
Biggest recent dad win. What have you got for me?
Biggest recent dad. Oh, it's probably going to sound a bit silly, but
It definitely won't. Go.
I think for my because we're going through the whole toilet training thing.
Oh yeah, with your youngest.
No, yeah, my daughter.
Yep.
And she was able to do poos on the toilet.
Hell yeah, dude.
And wipe her bum, put the seat down, flush the toilet.
Big W.
It's the biggest thing, because like, you know, she went off and like usually she goes off and does her own thing.
Yeah.
Totally cool. Goes off and does her own thing. We hear the toilet flush. What is that?
Well, she did it unprompted. Like she just did it. That's even better.
Yeah,
that's a fucking huge win.
She didn't tell us. She just went and did it.
Yes.
And it's like, did you just go to the toilet? Yeah, I just did poos. Did you really? Yeah.
And then once they do it, dude.
And like we know she's been to the toilet because the whole toilet roll is like half is just on the ground.
Fucking
like,
in the toilet.
Yes, she did a great job, but it's a
dude.
fucking mess everywhere.
Oh yeah. Hey mate, in the bowl is a win. Anything in the net is better than outside, bro.
100%.
Oh hell yeah, man. Ty, it is always a pleasure to talk to you, bro. I love when you come in. I get genuinely excited, especially after our last chat, bro. But you can go ahead and plug your podcast, because I love your podcast, brother. But where can we find you, bro?
No worries, man. The Roads We've Walked podcast, Roads Walk podcast on Instagram, Roads Walk podcast @gmail.com. If you want to shoot me an email, if you don't have any guests that want to come on, just shoot me a DM, shoot me an email. I am all ears.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love how the long form stuff. I saw some pretty cool, like I love reading some comments sometimes when they're really like positive. I saw a pretty good positive comment on yours around your interview style, which I can 100% appreciate, because I felt like that when you interviewed me, it was your questioning is very in depth, but it's not over intrusive. Yep. Like if that makes sense. Like you very much you very much hit the surface before you start digging. You don't really like hit you with a question, answer. It's sort of all your questions sort of elaborate onto the next one, which I really, really love that style, man. So what you're doing is amazing. And I really hope that you continue into it. And you know what? I'll make you. If you ever even look at me and say, I don't think I'm going to do this anymore, I'm going to fucking come over and smack you in the head.
I appreciate
All
it.
right, brother. Guys, you know, this is CoolDadCollective podcast. If you want to get in touch with the podcast, CoolDadCollective@hotmail.com, or go over on social media. And if you're listening to the podcast right now, stop what you're doing. If you got this far in, go leave a rating and a review on wherever you listen to your podcast or whatever you're doing. And we're putting some more stuff on YouTube. So jump over to YouTube, give us a sub there, and just enjoy your week, guys. Peace.
Laters.